We're starting off high.
So we can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot. Ah!
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust a human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise wolves.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Sleepy Jordan Jennings.
I guess that's me. I would say
I'm gonna start
waking up.
I'm gonna start giving you nicknames the way you give Malcolm nicknames on Hit the Showers. Mr. I don't give a fuck about this topic Jennings. Mr. I'm lulling him to sleep Jennings.
No, you lulling me to sleep. Dude. I can't. Listen. I need a battery too, right? Charge me up. I can't charge them up if my battery's dead.
That's a fair statement.
You know, and politics and UFOs drain my battery.
Well, then come up with a better topic for us.
No, I mean, because you know
that's what I got. That's what I got for you.
They gotta be touched upon, you know.
They do.
That's
do.
where your battery should be charged. Not mine. Don't worry about it. I'm here for the ignorant shit.
Well, that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to tell you. So on one of the clips, the best comment that we've gotten on TikTok from our AI generated clips. Someone said that you were jacking it during the clip.
Oh, right.
Because you're sitting there like nodding off and bouncing. He's like, dude's jacking off during the show.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? First and foremost, you are nobody I would be jacking it to. Unless I have Pornhub minimized on my screen.
Oh, that's what I figured. Because you're kind of looking down, too, so I just figured you were on the phone.
Yeah,
but that by far is the funniest comment we've gotten on our new AI clips. So there you go.
I can understand where you get that. Damn, you just want a black man to show his hands at all times. Huh? I gotta keep my hands legit. Up at all times. Either my hands up, my dick or a gun.
Hands up.
Huh? What? Which one? They're both dangerous.
They are. They're both dangerous.
Shit.
Oh, damn it.
Nah, but, you know.
How was your week?
The motherfucker was 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 7 of them. They ain't skipped one or nothing.
No.
They probably could have skipped one, and I don't know.
We wouldn't even notice. I actually saw something the other day that was, I think it was a reel or something with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was explaining the reason we have leap years because
days aren't all the same length.
Well, and it's like we lose 6 hours every rotation around the sun, which after 4 years gives you an extra day. The problem is it doesn't give you exactly an extra day. So every century, you're not supposed to have a leap day on the 4th year. So they do take days away from us and we don't even notice.
So every 4 years add a day, but every 100 years subtract a day?
Subtract the added day.
Oh, okay. So it's still 365.
Yeah, right.
Day.
It doesn't
Okay.
become a 364. It's just we don't do leap day that year. I don't know. I can't remember a year that was supposed to be a leap year where we didn't have a leap day.
Who did this? The Romans? Was it the Romans? Only the Romans. Right?
I mean, yeah, considering we're supposed to have 13 months and not 12. It's all fucked up, man. It's all fucked up.
My thing is, what month was removed?
Well, September should be the 7th month.
Right.
October should be the 8th month. November should be the 9th.
No.
December should be the 10th, Deca. And yes, November, or every other language, N-O-N or N-O-N-V is 9.
They said January and February would be 11 and 12. 11
would be 11 and 12. Which would make sense because the first year or the first month would be March because you'd go with the seasons, and a new year should start in the spring.
But
not in the
that
winter.
Doesn't attest for the missing month. This is the case of the missing month. If there's 13, then where did you get what month was removed?
Well,
and
we wouldn't know what it is because it was removed.
Then I heard what month was added because of the king.
I mean, July is Julius, isn't it? Julius Caesar.
Yeah, I, that's what I was wondering, if it was July. There are a couple months added by kings, so it's like, even if that was the case, then what were the real 12?
Augustine would be Roman Emperor Augustine.
That makes sense.
What was it?
So was Julius.
Yeah, I said Julius for July.
Mm-hmm. So then so now we're removing even more, right? Now we only
there were different names, but you still had the month in theory. So like, the bigger issue here is losing like an entire month. Like, the reason the days are all screwed up and you have to go 30, 31, 30, 31, they should all be 28. And then if you were to do that, then you would have enough left over.
Right. These motherfuckers, man.
Right. Shady. And the new year should start in the spring, which would make
sense. And
then
what's the point, though? What's the point of changing it all?
To rock us to sleep, Cliff, in your words. Rock us to sleep.
But I mean, like...
To what end, sir? Because they got us celebrating New Year in a time of death and decay versus rebirth.
Right.
We've had that talk.
I just don't understand it. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. And then even beyond that, it's like motherfuckers went to war over tea. And you mean to tell me the people who had the original was like, wait, 12 months? Leap year? No,
what
leap
is
year
this?
Every 100 years? What the fuck are you talking about? That would have been enough for me to be like, y'all are trying to do something that I don't like. Let's load up
trifling.
The troops.
Everybody trifling.
They just didn't want to do that because of the Spartans back then. They was like, them niggas is strong and they'll bend you over. You don't want no parts of the Sparts. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, man.
They was like, nah. I bet if the United States Army was like the Spartans back in the Boston Tea Party, they would have paid that tax. Bet you that.
You mean the King's Army, not the United States Army.
Whoever it was.
The British. If the British were like that, we would have paid the taxes.
Right.
Meanwhile, we out here paying taxes out the ass anyway, so.
Right.
Terrible.
Right.
Well, I don't have, you got any inadvertent thoughts?
I do, actually.
Oh, that's good, because we don't have any topics, so let her rip.
That's all right. I like shooting from the hip.
I know you do.
So I was wondering, right?
Dangerous.
I don't even know where this came from. I know that I seen something the other day. I don't know if it was like on a reel or I don't know where I saw it, but I saw that somebody had sued themselves.
Sued themselves.
Sued themselves and won for something. I can't even remember what the like they sued themselves for.
Interesting.
Damn, that's gonna bother me. But I got to thinking, right? Like, could you? And it's ironic too, right? Because we got my reach here in the background. Could you sue the United States government as well as your parents for forgery?
Interesting. Go on.
Like if you had a good enough lawyer, right? Like, because essentially what you did with my social security number and my birth certificate is enrolled me into the corporation, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
You're going the whole, as soon as you get a social security number, you're declared a citizen, which at that point you're an asset to the US government.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it almost seems like it should be in reverse, where everybody starts off as a sovereign citizen, and then if you enroll into the structure, then you're given your social and all that shit. Like I understand you having a birth certificate just so they know what time you were born. Right. I just feel like there should be a box that's not checked there because you're enrolling somebody into something that they really don't have the authority to enroll themselves into at the time.
I think that's fair.
You feel what I'm saying?
But by nature, if your parents are an asset, anything they beget is an asset. Your property at that point. You are parent, right. Your parental. But that's property.
The thing. I feel like that's where you start the domino effect, right? Because if my child was to sue me, which I would, if it was a thing, I would be like, hey, go ahead and sue me real quick, right? And the government, sue us all, right? And then what's going to happen is I'm going to get that. I'm going to then in turn sue my parents and the government. And it's going to go back so far as they're like, shit, we got to just get this changed. You know what I'm saying? We can't pay all this out because everybody would be victim of it.
Yeah.
Everyone, back to the beginning of when you started to enroll, would be victim of it because you're enrolling somebody into something that they didn't necessarily want to get into. And then I feel like if you were to start it the other way around, where everybody is a sovereign citizen and then you enroll into your citizenship, that brings back patriotism.
It does, but the problem is that you are on U.S. soil already. And having at that point, foreign entity on U.S. soil is where that doesn't work.
Nah, I'm not falling for that bullshit. When you think about all the land you sell to China and your so-called enemies that hold land in this fucking country, we didn't have no right to let them do that. That was something y'all did on y'all's own. So this don't got nothing to do with that.
All right.
We were born here. You allowed them to come over and buy land that we should have been the ones to have first bid at.
Right.
So that's mute.
Well, and meanwhile, they're buying up all the property and land anyways.
Right.
Like, not even government. So like, we're selling it to them. Individual citizens are selling to them.
You could try to use that, but I feel like that doesn't really hold weight to me.
Well, I mean, the problem is that none of it holds weight because the system is what it is right now.
No, it definitely is what it is. And I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. It's just too far gone.
I think there is some legitimacy in that statement.
It's too far gone because there's really nothing you can do. But like, it's ironic, right? Because people are at that point where it's like, I'm sick of bending over.
Yeah.
You know, you're no Spartan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're looking at the person bending them over like, you're no Spartan.
Well, and on top of that, like, you guys can't even fly in your own airspace without crashing into something right now.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. God bless, especially to everybody on the plane.
Right.
I'm not going to, disclude the people on the helicopter, but
y'all were trained. Like, that's your job. That's your...
Yeah, I feel like the jury's still up there.
Yeah.
You know, bless the people, you know, their families and all
Absolutely.
that. But I'm saying, like, we don't know. We don't know what this is. And I thought it was ironic too, because as soon as I saw that took place, I was like, doesn't this usually happen before big decisions are being made?
Right.
Like, isn't this usually a distraction from the decision itself? But
I mean, it quite possibly could be that we just haven't heard. Like,
what the decision was yet.
We spent what? We spent a full episode last week talking about Trump executive orders in his first week, and we didn't even cover them all. So there was more shit going down.
But I mean, I'm sure some of them was just dumb shit. Like, don't get like some of the ones we went over was kind of dumb
right.
to me, but I'm sure some of them was just dumb shit. Like, he probably strengthened the legality of a confidentiality agreement. He probably lowered the price of prostitutes on the strip. You know,
The greatest. Oh, man.
I don't know. But I tell you what, if he did, I'd be more inclined to listen to those executive orders. He wouldn't put me back to sleep. I'm like, damn, I just woke up and this nigga already trying to put me back to sleep. Put me back to sleep.
Oh, man.
Nah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we waiting on the fact. The facts never come out.
No.
Yeah, they don't come out anyway. I guess you could say like different phrases, like we're still waiting on the facts, but they don't come out.
I will say that the whole New Jersey thing, they did say that it was ours. They did come out and say that those drones are ours. So at least that came out. Not that it matters, but again, they acknowledged that they were ours.
We're at that point, right? Like, and not to be Bible thumping, but they said that this would happen in the last days, where nobody knows real from fake anymore.
Well, that's by design. I mean, he spent the last 8 years pushing that narrative, the last 12 years pushing that narrative. And it's true.
I don't even think it was Trump. It was happening long before Trump ever got into office. It was just that phrase that he used allowed people to place the label on all news, whether real or fake, further throwing us into a place where we don't know what's real or fake anymore.
Well, and ultimately, like that. I'm gonna turn and play Cliff here for a second. Why does it matter? 20 years ago, we didn't know what was happening in the world. 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, we didn't know what was happening in other places in the world. Like, you were lucky if you got, your 3-channel network news to cover something.
Right. But
I mean, we've got somebody who was alive during that time. Like, what does it mean at that point?
What you did have is you had traditional avenues that you could use to deduce your own truths. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would say you have more avenues. It's just none of them are true.
Well, that's the issue. Is that back in the day, everything was traditional. Everything was set up with a certain structure.
You need to sit in the other seat and talk into the microphone.
And we've lost all tradition altogether. Like, you got to think, just our generation, for some of us, maybe 20, 25 years ago, families were still sitting around a table and, having dinner together and doing all, like, there's no time for any of that anymore. Everybody is on their own at this point.
People are much more skeptical now. Back when, and I don't really remember when Kennedy was president, but I know there's a lot of skeletons in his closet from reading stuff. And everybody thought he was great when he was president because we didn't know any better.
Right.
Our parents didn't know any better. Your grandparents didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. They knew what the public was told.
Right.
And now there's a lot of deep diving going on. Right or wrong, true or false, people are snooping.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think that was my point, is that Like, folks are more skeptical now because they can get 18 million different viewpoints. The problem with that is what you end up with is the whole echo chamber thing, right?
See, I don't even know if it's the viewpoints that make people skeptical. I think the skepticism is like natural along the timeline. Like, we're coming to a point where we're realizing that the FBI is responsible for the assassinations of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, shit like that is coming out. Where back in the day, you would be like, that there's never a chance that could take, well, certain people would be like, there's never a chance that could take place.
Right.
Others are like, yeah,
of course. Well, I mean, that was the whole thing with COINTELPRO. The problem that we have now is, like, any kind of data breaches like that at the federal level. And I hear a lot about this from, again, kind of the UFO news cycle of things, but like, they have just as much false information on their servers as they have real information.
It's
counterintelligence.
Right.
And every major program has a counterintelligence officer who is responsible for basically putting breadcrumbs out there that actually pull you away from the truth of it all. And so, to the point of, skepticism, it's well earned, and I don't think there is a way to know the truth unless you're seeing it with your own eyes. And even then, with everything that's going on and the advancements in technology, even seeing with your own eyes doesn't mean much these days.
Right.
So,
what's that saying? Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was back in the day they were saying that. Now these motherfuckers, if the saying makers was around today, I don't know what that would pop they time.
Believe nothing, honestly.
Right. Don't believe. But then you get
No
your
the
marketing's
the truth is out there, but you'll never find it, so don't worry about it so much.
I mean, that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
When you got motherfuckers getting paid millions of dollars to make sure people don't find something out.
Right.
That's some ill shit when you think about it.
No doubt.
That means either the person that did the dirt wasn't good at it, or that dirt is so unbelievable that it would shatter, the foundation of society.
Possibly, yeah. No, I hear what
you
you're
feel
saying.
what I'm saying?
Well, and I think when you kind of follow that thread, pull on that thread a little bit, as you continue down that path, that's where we get to this state where you really can't trust or believe anything, but at the same time, gaslighting is also real. Like, you hear the same thing over and over enough, you do start to question it, you do start to believe it. And, there that may mean it's not really gaslighting, it is the truth, or it could just continuously be the gaslighting element. I think what's interesting is the polarization, especially in the media right now. Like, there is no centrist news source anymore. And that's a problem. Like, your best bet for, like, centrist news and objective news is to find an independent journalist on TikTok and trust what they have to say.
Yeah, hope they can get their point across in the 60-second video they give them.
Well, TikTok goes as far as, like, 10, 15-minute now. But
oh, does it?
Yeah. There's actually a couple of independent journalists that I follow on there just because I feel like they give unbiased takes, meaning they kind of show both sides of the argument. And that's also that same, I think it's the Straight Arrow News app, will give you the stories, but then it'll show you being reported by the right, being reported by the left, being reported by no one. And that's kind of where...
you told me about that a while ago.
So
that's an interesting way to market your news. I guess the only issue is, I don't know. No, that's not necessarily the case, because I was just about to say there's delusional people of all ages.
Yeah.
But I guess my original thought was the ones that you tend to need to nudge towards spaces like that are the older people. But the older people don't, really the flow of technology to want to keep up with those.
They are either watching CNN, MSNBC, or Fox News. Like, that's what they watch.
Right.
Or we watch nothing. Because we don't
also
believe
fair.
any of it.
Well, you live on an island. You're like, who's going to fuck with me? I'm fine no matter what happens. I get it. You are the closest thing we have to a sovereign nation in our family.
We're going to succeed.
Maybe that's why they say it's all...
Hey, the Conch Republic has tried that for years. And now they're going to be the Gulf of Rum.
Gulf of Rum?
Gulp of Rum.
Gulp of Rum.
What's that? What happened?
The Gulf of America.
It's
going to be the Gulf of Rum.
I mean...
I also heard a good one. It was the Gulf of toxic masculinity.
Oh.
The Gulf of toxic masculinity. That's Mexico though? Right? Is that what that is?
No, we're the ones who want to rename it. We, as in over there.
Oh shit! I don't know. I wasn't the best in geography. I don't know what I don't know.
All right, so since we convinced the Reeds to hop over to a microphone, we're gonna ask her some questions. She doesn't. She didn't know this was coming, but that was the intent here. So for those that don't know, the Reeds is my mom. She's in town this week, and she's actually been nice enough to kind of hop up and join us on the podcast today. Mom, what is the craziest thing that you've actually witnessed yourself that you're not sure whether you believed seeing it or not?
The craziest thing that I've witnessed?
That's an interesting question.
Anything like supernatural or anything that like you couldn't explain after the fact?
Well, there was the ghost that lived in the old house for a while.
Champion?
Champion.
Cliff
the one
believes you right now.
I ain't no fool. I ain't no fool. Boy. I'm one with the spirits, with the elements, and it was something about that damn picture that really had me that easy.
No, I mean, I had a couple of weird incidents in that house, so I'm curious to hear yours. Mine were centered around, like, since that, when you walked in the door of the old house, we had that formal living room, and on more than one occasion, I swear I saw furniture move with no one, no animals, nothing in the room. The other one that still trips me out to this day is going downstairs because Scrappy was barking at something in the basement, and he is barking at a wall. Now, I also know Scrappy was a little fucked up in the head. However, like, he was intently staring at something, and he was very upset. And I felt like he had cornered or seen a spirit, something. So what was the thing that you saw in that house?
Well, I don't remember. It happened once or twice, and it was always at nighttime, and I would go downstairs for some reason, just into the living room, much like you described, the formal living room. And at one point, we had the rocking chair was sitting next to the fireplace. And there were a couple times when I went down, and it wasn't that the chair was moving, but out of the corner of my eye, as I was walked toward the dining room, I would swear I saw a lady with a baby in an old white dress.
In the chair?
In the chair by the fireplace, kind of rocking.
I mean, and I saw the chair rocking. So
I hated going past that.
That's why you broke the table, you drunk motherfucker.
I don't even know if I broke the table. I might have got body slammed. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't even know if I took my own clothes off.
It might have been the ghost. Spooky ghost.
Listen.
And of course, when you turned around and looked, there was nothing there. But
I believe that.
I didn't like going past. Maybe because y'all had a wolf too, but I never liked going past that door.
Oh man.
And you know what one of my favorite memories of the house was with Cliff?
What's that?
Your party at midnight.
Scream night.
Yes, scream night, scream mask.
And Cliff jumping on the couch and then going, I wasn't scared.
Yes, that is one of my favorite memories as well. My other favorite memory of just having people over at that house is going to bed and telling them, you wake up my mom, you got to deal with her. Oh, man.
Well, if I know what I know now, I'd have just blamed it on a ghost. Said it was a rocking chair, Reese.
But you know,
I knew it was something screwy in that living room.
I never saw that again.
When you did what? When we moved the rocking chair?
When I switched the rocking chair to the other corner and then the settee was by the fireplace, I never had that impression again. Interesting.
You fucked up the ghost feng shui.
That's why it wasn't why I did it. I did it because we expanded the pocket doors. But
Right. Interesting. All right. Let's see. You got any questions, Cliff?
No further questions.
No further questions? All right.
Not on the topic.
Now.
Well, it doesn't have to be on that topic. I was just thinking in general. Since I got her to join us today.
And conveniently, you didn't have a topic.
Right, exactly. It worked out well. I mean, we've had Cliff's parents on, so it's about time I had someone on, I guess.
You're running out of parents.
Damn. That's cold. What? She said we running out of parents.
Damn, we getting old. Shit, 1 foot in. We gonna be 3 feet deep before we know it.
I mean, this vampire outlive us all, so.
Mm-hmm. I know she will. She probably don't even run. Real talk. She probably don't even run.
She just floats.
Makes everybody faster and she goes back. Just flies up to the finish line.
Oh man.
No, I wouldn't doubt it though. I wouldn't doubt she outlives us all. Because Lord knows I ain't running unless you make me. You had to make me, baby.
Yeah, we saw what happens when you try a 2-mile hike. Jesus.
Listen.
It almost didn't make it out.
Wheels ain't set up the same way they was before. And I don't carry a spare, so I don't know. You might have to leave me on this here mountainside.
What is...
With that creepy old man.
Yeah, he just kind of came out of nowhere, didn't he? That fucker came out of nowhere.
Listen, we both was off the trail. He was helping me over logs and shit. I looked down and I said, wait a minute, this doesn't seem like a smooth trail. Where we at? We standing in a creek. The trail don't go through a creek, sir.
I'm glad I went back for you.
You ain't fucking go back for me.
I did. We got to the car and I said, I'm going to go back for Cliff.
That nigga, man, I was at the damn gate by the time you got back there. Standing in the creek.
He didn't say it was going back fast.
Right. Very true.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That shit was crazy.
All right. Let's see.
You asked me, do I have any questions? Let me think.
I see smoke coming out of your ears.
Right, I gotta think.
Let's see. What historical event impacted you the most? And why?
You pulling from a interview website.
No, that's what I was trying to do, but that was one that I remember.
Look, I know you got fucking notes that you bring all your little interviewees.
Well, you've got your notes for Hit the Showers. I've got my notes for this.
Historical events, huh?
What one, like, what are the ones that you remember, and, like, what were you doing during them, I guess? That's kind of the standard question, right?
I guess I would probably, I kind of remember when Kennedy was assassinated, but not really. I remember we got sent home early from school. I think I was, like, in first grade.
Gotcha.
Probably the moon landing, watching that on TV. I don't know that it really had any impact on me personally, other than thinking, wait, that was cool. We went to the moon.
Yeah.
And maybe I can go to the moon someday or whatever, but.
All right.
But did we? No.
Yeah, did you believe that we went, or were you one of these people that said it was a studio? All right.
They just missed it. They missed the saying before the broadcast went on. That this is broadcast from a studio audience. And then they told Neil Armstrong crip walking on the moon.
I was going to say, I think when I was a kid, the thing that probably impacted me the most was the Cold War.
Okay.
Because
you guys did like the under the desk.
We did under the desk drills for the Cold War, and when you're, again in first or second grade, it was scary, and then now it's like, what the hell went under the desk?
Right. And meanwhile, we've got kids doing active shooter drills, which is an actual threat because we're shooting up a school every other day. It seems like so.
And let's keep it a buck. If it's a Cold War event. Wait, it might be better for y'all to stand
right. Go ahead.
On the desk.
Right.
Active shooter drills. We were required to take active shooter drill training at where I used to work. And so one time we took the class, all of us together, and the next day I felt compelled to run through the office popping bubble wrap and going, active shooter, what do you do? My staff did not think it was funny.
That does not seem like a good idea, Mom.
No. But back in those days, it was more of a sense of humor.
See, I thought she retired. Turns out.
That was long before I retired.
Oh, shit. All right. Let's see. What's one thing you wish you had known earlier in life?
Not to have high expectations and be a perfectionist.
I get that. And I also feel that. I wish I would have learned that like 10 years earlier.
I mean, just stupid little stuff. Like I used to spend an inordinate amount of time trying to pick the first perfect Christmas tree and decorate the tree perfectly and make the presents perfectly. And nobody gave
Right.
Thanks.
All you guys were
it's never the things that you care about.
Whatever, and you were happy. You didn't care that the tree was perfect.
Right. No, I get that. That's part of the reason why I have Andrew do a lot of it now. Because I'm like, as long as he's happy with it, and if he has like input to it, he's happy with it.
Yeah, no.
Come on, Cliff. You're always good for an off-the-wall question.
My off-the-wall questions are like lightweight incriminating, though.
Yeah, she's retired. What'd she care?
No. I've been incriminated.
My question would be more so of what, and this isn't like me promoting this behavior by no means, but what was like that one core memory that you have from your adolescent teenage years where you were like starting to grow up doing things that you really probably didn't have no business doing, but you're like, oh, I'm having the time of my life.
Well, I was a pretty good kid.
Likewise. Me too, Mom.
know, I don't know. I mean, I really didn't drink.
Everybody
really
has one though, whether it's like sneaking into multiple movies and only paying for one ticket, or something.
We only had one movie theater in our town. It only had 2 shows. It didn't matter.
That's fair.
I would say probably.
Or like going on a car, getting in the car with your best friend's older sibling and going to, their people's house and seeing how the older kids kick it, type, stuff like that.
Well, I think she was starting one.
I would probably say doing bad things in a car.
Bad things. Oh.
No,
like driving recklessly or like parking.
Right, that young lady could be.
We didn't really do much when we parked. It didn't make much difference. I would say driving recklessly.
Okay, that makes sense considering I've seen you, bury the needle on a Mustang, so that tracks.
Racing the train when I shouldn't have done that. Putting your hands over the driver's eyes.
They out here trying to kill people.
And we were on country roads. Not much was happening.
He was an adrenaline junkie and didn't even know it. Okay.
Let's see. Same kind of vein. Any like big regrets? All of them?
Yeah. Now you're getting it.
All right, we'll rewind that one.
DJ Vlad, this
motherfucker trying
to get somebody caught up.
They were big ones.
That's fair.
In retrospect.
I get it. We all have them. Some reason I think I know which one we're talking about, or at least one that we're talking about, but no, it's not you, Maddie.
No, you'll never be my regret.
No, I was.
No, you weren't my regret. I just wasn't ready for you.
Mistake.
I just wasn't ready for you.
Which one of your children do you love more, Mom?
I love you both. Actually, I love the dog more.
You were right. It's the dog. I knew it. I knew it was going to be the dog.
Right.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, selfishly, what is your favorite memory of me?
Oh, that's easy. It's when you were a sophomore in high school.
Oh, is this I came home after I got my ass kicked at fucking football camp and I still did the stupid 5K?
Yes, and you finished just ahead of the larger ladies in about 45 minutes, but you did it and you didn't have to do it.
This was after 4 days of 3-day practices.
His chest was just bruised to anything. And I said, Mike, you don't have to do this. And he was like, I promised I'd do it with you, Mom. We're doing it. And then we did it. I went ahead and did the run. And he finished with the larger ladies in tutus. And then I said, let's go to the Jazz and Rib Fest and get ribs. And he said, no, I just want to go home. I can't feel my feet. I said, Mike, you're going to be hungry
how long
we get home.
did you okay, so how long did it take him to finish after you?
Like 20 minutes?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
20.
I mean, I finished in probably 22 minutes, and I think you were like 45.
And I finished like 40 something, yeah.
Now, follow-up question for you, Mike. At any point in the race, did you ever hear "but" out in the distance? At any point?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So it was legit. It was legit then.
It was legit, and she is correct that I said no to the ribs, and then when we got to the car, I wanted Taco Bell.
The bad news was we were parked
you can
about
drive
a mile
through.
away.
You don't got to run through the line.
Right, and then yes, we were parked a mile away.
I said, Mike,
from the Taco Bell?
No, we were parked a mile away from where I finished the race, or from where we finished the race.
So you had to keep.
So we had to walk another mile to get to the fucking car.
But then I did buy him Taco Bell on the way home.
I know your legs was dead,
dude. After 3 days of 3 days, and the guy who I had lined up against all camp was
Mark
Warren, who ended up being the OAC Rookie of the Year the next year. So he was a college freshman Rookie of the Year. The following year, he was 2-time All-State in Ohio as a defensive lineman. He just whooped my ass all fucking camp, and then I came home to that.
Did they have y'all lifting too?
Oh yeah. There was lifting,
great,
conditioning, 3-a-day practices. It was great.
You can beat me up in practice all day, but the lifting and the 2-a-days, then the running, and then going to do something else, my legs would be shaking going up and down the steps.
Yeah, that's basically where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other time, Mike, was when you were Santa Claus for your brother at the time.
Aw.
You were like...
I don't really remember that one, but I believe you.
Listen, if you was like big enough to be Santa Claus for your little brother,
just knew that there wasn't a Santa Claus.
My nigga.
The first year, when you were like 5, you said, I don't think there's a Santa Claus. But you weren't sure, and you hedged your bets. And then like a year and a half, 2 years after that, you're like, I know you guys are Santa Claus, Mom and Dad. And I said, well, you can believe that. But you know what? You can be Santa Claus. And you were like, I can be Santa Claus? And I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you how. And then you were Santa Claus by bringing all the presents down for your brother.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right.
I thought you
dressed up. No, the dressing up.
Cookies. I was about to say that. This, now either Mike is a big ass 5-year-old, or Maddie is dumb as a box of rocks for this midget ass Santa Claus.
Maddie was young.
Maddie was like 1 or 2 at that point, 2 or 3. All right. No, the dressing up stuff was, I think there was a Leukemia Society event where I had to dress up as a lobster.
Oh, yeah. Then I remember.
I got my ass whooped on Christmas because I wanted to see if Santa Claus is real. Got my ass whooped on Christmas morning. It was early Christmas morning. It was before I could open presents or anything like that.
Damn.
I got my ass whooped. My mom used to she used to really try to tell me Santa Claus is real, and I wasn't going. I just wasn't going. And after a while, I was probably like 6, 7. I hid behind the Christmas tree because I knew, motherfuckers gotta put the presents out eventually. So my dumb ass like laid back behind the Christmas tree and fell asleep and waited until they started putting presents out. And she saw me.
Damn.
She was swinging.
Let's see.
It was a great Christmas, though.
There you go. Hey, that's what matters. You got another one, Cliff?
Let me think.
Duper duper duper.
Who would you say is the number one contributor in shaping you into being who you are today?
Me.
You?
Me.
All right.
I like that question.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I like that answer. Can't go wrong with you now. Anybody that you had interpretations of as a child that kind of let you down when you got older?
Any kind of like hero worship that didn't pan out?
Right.
No, because I don't think I really had any heroes that I worshipped. I mean, I had like people that I admired, but I didn't really like, Joe Namath was a great football player and all the girls loved Joe Namath, and then, other pop stars of the era and stuff. But I really didn't have any heroes that
Anybody you looked up to that was closer
that
to you?
later let me down. It's like,
right.
I looked up to my teachers, but none of them ever let me down. Probably because I never knew them as people. I only knew them as teachers.
That's fair.
I moved away from my hometown, so I never really had a chance to see a lot of those people as adults.
Right.
Peers of mine, kind of. They were always, at a different level, higher level.
Right, right.
I was thinking about that the other day, thinking back that, like, when I was in junior high school and stuff, I knew that a couple of my teachers were in a band, but I never saw them perform or anything, other than when they performed for a dance at school.
Yeah.
I never saw them as musicians.
Oh,
really.
y'all was Back to the Future, and the teachers was like, "We ain't booking nobody for this prom. I got a guitar in the trunk." You know what I'm saying?
I got to see my Latin teacher in a band once. That was fun. He actually performed with, Mick, right, Cliff?
Yeah.
Bald
That
Mick.
was your Latin teacher?
No, but he was in a band with my Latin teacher.
I was about to say, he looks like he would know Latin. Long time no see. Love you, Mick. I would have said it in Latin, but never taught me.
That's not his. That's not. You missed the whole point of that.
I know.
He wasn't the Latin teacher.
Somebody that taught Latin. But I said he looks like he knows Latin, so.
All right, we talked about like big historical events. What is one thing in life that has surprised you?
That
the sun comes up every day. I'm simple. What can I say?
That's fair.
Yeah, seriously, I don't really. I'm
I
trying
would
to
kind
think
of
of
need to
something
know
that
that-
really surprised me. When you weren't born, Pam. But not really. But not really.
Right.
Yeah, I would need to know like the angle of that question. It's like,
Well, I think it's just more like it kind of goes back to your core memory piece. Like I feel like a
Okay.
big moment of surprise like becomes part of that core memory. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Like for
I
me,
follow.
the way I would answer that question would be the first like recruiting letter I got for college. Like the first football coach that reached out to me in terms of going to college and playing. Because I never thought, like even through my junior year, even up into my junior year, like I never thought I'd play college football.
Right.
So
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, I had a lot of colleges sent me information, but nobody specifically recruited me.
yeah.
Now, I did have a full ride scholarship in New York that I walked away from after a couple of years. But
All right.
Got a couple letters, no scholarships, but I stopped in the 9th grade.
Right. Let's see. I mean, I didn't end up playing for scholarship because I chose the academics over the school or over the program.
Shit.
Morehead State, man.
Shit.
Could have been a Morehead State dude.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
You got there. You get never mind.
Let's see.
I know better now. Motherfuckers be clipping shit. Let me stop.
Right.
Let me stop, bro. Nigga really go viral for the wrong reason.
Well, you've already started it, so we talked about that at the beginning.
Well, nigga, I'm jacking it every episode. I got RLS. Look it up. No, I think I'm just fidgety, is what it
You
is.
are-
But
you
I
are.
bounce my legs. I can't help it. I actively tell myself to stop too, and I just can't stop. Will we still interviewing? We still interrogating?
We can still interrogate. I'm starting to
The
run out of
lights ain't
things
bright
to ask.
enough.
Right? I'll go adjust the lights over there.
Yeah, we gotta make her sweat a bit.
The problem is I think she's unflappable. So there
Feed
you
her
go.
some hot wings and then ask her some questions. Get her brain
She's
all.
from Western New York, dude. Hot isn't gonna bother her, especially not hot wings.
You right.
no, but I
That's
have
right.
a funny story about when I was pregnant with you.
Uh-oh.
We went to a Christmas party for your dad's work. And
I was born in January, so you were super pregnant.
I was fairly pregnant. You were early, but I was fairly pregnant. We went to a Christmas party for your dad's work. And I don't remember where it was, but we had hot chicken wings. And there was this guy that, I don't remember who he was really, but he worked with your dad. And it wasn't somebody that your dad was real friendly with, but he was there as part of the group. And he was had a couple of drinks and stuff. And I had a plate of real hot chicken wings, like the hottest you could get, atomic chicken wings, right? I'm munching on them, and this guy comes by and grabs one and says, "I know these won't be very hot because you're pregnant." And he bites into it. And he goes like, "Oh my God, how can you do that?" He's dumping puke down his throat.
That's why Mike turns so red. When he that's that atomic flavor.
That's when that switch flips.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right. Trying to think if I had anything else.
I don't know. See, now questions, like preparing questions for people, that's where I need time to think.
To get the questions ready.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And to ask them the way that I want to get.
I wasn't sure I'd be able to get her to join us, so I didn't know that. Like, cause she's been here during a podcast before, but she always just like sits on the couch and away from the microphone
and just listens to my fool ass.
Yep.
Make a fool of myself.
Oh, here's a question because we just celebrated. Actually, I think it was last week was the true 5-year anniversary of the podcast. Any favorite podcast memories?
Oh, yes.
From
You know
Doofus
the one
Agree.
I have is my very favorite.
What's your very favorite?
It's one I was listening to on the ferry coming back one time. It was when beer is sex and sex is beer.
Oh.
That was my absolute favorite podcast.
Stouts are the anal of sex. Not everybody likes them.
They definitely are.
But if you enjoy them, you know they're meant to be enjoyed slowly.
And what was cider? I don't remember.
I don't remember what cider. I feel like cider and seltzers were hand jobs because after one or two, they start to burn.
Right. I forgot all about that. Oh shit, we was before our time. The crazy thing is we got clips coming after a motherfucker ran out of shit to talk about. This
Right.
5 years. I those clips from back in the day.
That was my all-time most favorable, memorable podcast.
That's funny.
I'm going to have to run that one through the clip generator, see what it gives us.
Yeah, you might have to. I got tears. It's not going to get the right clip.
No.
It's just going to say anal and beer. And everybody's gonna be like, backing off.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
All right, I have a question for each of you.
All right, what do you got? Oh, she's turning the tables on us.
I'm turning the tables, flipping those. So what is one thing that you've done that you've never told anybody about? Mike? Cliff?
See,
Nope, this is
me,
incriminating. I'm going to have to plead the
fifth.
fifth.
Yeah, I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now Mike started it out with the incriminating one, so he might be obliged to answer that question.
Let's see.
True confession.
If I did something and I ain't never told nobody,
yeah, or that you can't remember that you've ever told
it's
anybody.
for a reason. It's for a fucking reason.
It doesn't have to be something you're ashamed of. It's just something you never
never
talked
told
about.
anybody.
Oh, okay.
It could be something
I see.
funny.
I think that's the only.
Actually,
thing
I don't know if I ever told you this. I spun the escort out on 315.
No, you never did tell me that.
Yeah, no, I almost died.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, the ramp from 70 onto 315 way back, or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was relatively sharp.
Yeah.
And it was an icy night. I was going to see, I don't know, probably
some chick.
And I definitely spun out on the ramp.
But you didn't hit anything.
I hit the guardrail, but I didn't hit anything.
Well.
I didn't hit
Did
anybody.
you do any damage?
And you didn't really damage the car.
I didn't damage the car because it was so icy that it spun out and like I hit it and bounced right back.
I did that in the rain
so
on.
I made it almost all the way to your grandparents'
670.
house one time before I spun out on the freeway. There was nobody out there but me, but I ended up spacing the wrong way in the freeway.
Ooh.
That's how it was with me. That's how it was on my birthday too. I was
clearly.
driving out north, like to the, the 161 area, and I was coming from where I'm at now, and it was like raining heavy. Like it was heavy. Like even with your windshield wipers, you still couldn't really see too much.
Yeah.
And I wasn't speeding or anything. I was going the speed limit, and I don't know if I like hit like a puddle or something and just started. I had to have gone around 3 times, and by the time I stopped, the cars were coming like towards me, but it was so much of a distance that they got a chance to brake before they hit me or anything. Listen,
I had
deal with this.
I had a couple of scary driving ones, and some of them were because I made dumb decisions.
Really?
But most of those were like college or like immediately following college. But yeah, that one, I was in high school and I spun it out.
I mean,
at least I didn't
happens.
get taken to court like I did with the other one.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of incidents that I probably could have ended up in court for, but didn't. So
but we're not that. That wasn't the title of the episode, sir. Now, if I'd have known this was in the title, I would have sat this one out and let y'all do it together.
Oh man! All right, was that it? Is that the only question you got? What else you got for us?
Well, Cliff didn't really answer that question.
Yeah, I spun out.
You can't just take mine.
In the car.
Yeah, we both in the same car. I don't know. I mean, it's probably a lot. Like, there's probably a lot. Like, that's not even like just like stuff I never said, but like nothing comes to mind because who cares, That's my motto. Who cares? I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? They ain't step on me yet. So.
You're still
They'll be like, oh, that happened?
Still here,
like
still
standing,
still strong.
Yep, sounds like him.
Anything else?
I'm trying to think.
See, not so easy, is it?
Yeah, the interrogation,
So I'll ask you one of the questions you asked me. So who did you look up to that later let you down?
That let me down?
Yeah, like when you asked me who were one of my heroes that later were kind of like, oh, wow,
oh,
or
me? I won't say let me down. I'll just say, there's a lot of like, okay, so it's kind of hard to answer, but it's not, right? Like, I would say parents in general for me, and it's not so much of a letdown as it is you growing up to realize
They're
everybody's
human.
flying by the seat of their pants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As much as they are an authority figure, nobody really knows what they're doing. They're just doing that because they think that's what's best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but I wouldn't really say equate it to like a letdown, so much of a realization that
It's a growing up.
Yeah.
right.
I think similarly, mine are mostly on the professional side. It's people that either I reported to directly or indirectly that when push came to shove, they crumbled. And like,
That's my biggest. I hate that.
Yeah, I had
Don't
one.
act like you're prepared for something, and then when you're in the situation that we hired you for, you curl up because you weren't prepared in the first. Like, why did you even apply? Why did you waste our time?
Right. Well, and I think for me, it's been like, again, it's been leaders in my organization that, I respected at one point, and then they did something or failed to do something that basically turned
That's
my
our
viewpoint of that.
country's fake it till you make it culture.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Like
the more you faking it till you make it, the more you're taking up a spot for somebody who's truly
who can actually do it.
To be there.
Yep. No doubt. Well,
and that's our culture as a society, as a country, as a whole.
Well, and I think too, working for, any of the big name public corporations, like you see that so much. The mediocrity is what rises to the top.
Right. And beyond that, like it's legacy by now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
legacy is enough to fill positions to the point that the guys that's just applying don't have a shot to make your board of, trustees.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say, we saw that. And then we saw it especially because we went from a social service kind of organization, and we had to morph into a pharmaceutical type organization while I was involved because of all the diseases that came out after HIV and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So we went from, like I said, kind of a social service organization. It was a lot of, 37 different regions kind of doing 37 different things. And then we had to go almost like a McDonald's franchise where, because we were so heavily regulated, we all had to get in line. Well, it seemed like because our area was such an outstanding and good performing area, it seemed like we had to standardize at a level of mediocrity.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the idea was we'd all standardize there and then we'd raise up.
No.
That doesn't work so high.
A sinking tide lowers all ships.
Yeah.
What's the name? What's that name? What do they call it? I can't remember what they call it, but it happened with the light bulbs.
With AC/DC.
Where the group of people met and said the light bulbs last too long. We need to start making everything not last well, so people don't expect that they only have to change their light bulbs twice a lifetime.
They wanted to sell more light bulbs.
Right.
In our case,
and that happened with everything. It happened with cars. It happened from metal to plastic. It happened with everything.
Yeah.
Even what you expect from a service.
Yep.
We'll give you mediocre, so you're not expecting high at all times.
It's funny that you bring that up because I was just talking about that with flights today because I was talking about, the next time I'm going to go out to see my mom. Flying. And it was, half the airports or half the airlines now are charging you to carry on a fucking bag. Like, motherfucker, this bag is with me the whole time.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. No
like you
got
cabinets up there are you charging for cabinet space?
Right. And I'm like,
is this IKEA?
This bag's going to stay on my chest then. Like, no. And I'm not paying for it.
It's got a whole fucking 24 pack of liquor bottles, mini liquor bottles in it anyway, so I need this. My lap.
Oh,
that's my flying ritual. Get drunk at the airport and pass out on the plane. That last flight, I took it stone cold sober. When I feel like, listen, we was on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
From Chicago.
Chicago. Chicago's a rough flight though. Leaving and flying into. It's Midway, the one that's bumpy, right? O'Hare, I feel like, is a little more open, but Midway's the short runway.
I don't know. All I know
it wasn't even the runway. It wasn't. I'm talking about in the air.
Actually,
like in the air, it was like when you're flying.
They do call it
you may have 2-3 times where like the plane drops and you like get that stomach drop feeling.
It is the Windy City.
every 5 minutes it was like
By the way, the term was the term we were looking for, planned obsolescence.
That was it right there. Yep. Yeah. That was exactly.
So the chat chimed in with planned obsolescence. The chat is also chiming in with question for the three of you if you want it. When's the last time you changed your mind about something and why did it change?
That me. Well, I'll say that's with drinking.
Okay.
Like I felt like it's fun, and I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm a frequent drinker, and I drink beer a lot. So I was at a point where I was too comfortable with not doing anything and would just be like, grab a beer. You know what I'm saying? And it turned into me being comfortable drinking a couple beers on a daily basis. And after a while, I was like, well, not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with this, but me asking myself, why are you drinking right now? Like, you're not being social. You're not, doing it. You're not watching a football game. You're just drinking to be drinking.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of kick back a little bit. And it's crazy how, like, they say that 7-day rule is a thing. You change for 7 days, then you rewire your brain. And now it's like, even on the weekends, like, this is the first weekend that I've drank in a while.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like picking up a beer that often.
Nah, I totally get that. And I've been in the same spot with alcohol in particular. Last time I changed my mind on something, I don't know. It's been a minute.
But tonight, cheers. Actually, I change my mind daily, baby. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Actually, I think one of the big things is the general lean towards, like, when we started this podcast, even, I was pretty hard left in terms of political beliefs, social beliefs, etc. I would say that has changed more out of cynicism than anything else. And it's not that I wouldn't still consider myself that, but I question a lot more, kind of to your earlier point, Cliff, around you can't trust anything, so you question everything. Anybody.
I get so sick of hearing directions.
Yeah.
I deleted my GPS. You hear what I'm saying? I don't want to hear who's right, I don't give a fuck. It's all the same, baby. You're just so delusional you don't recognize it.
Yeah.
I don't care what side you're on, what disdain you have towards I don't care. I don't care.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I understand, and that's not to diminish your answer to your question.
Right.
It's just like until we realize that the directions don't matter.
Right.
Like, you want to focus on the direction, let's talk about up and down. How about that?
No doubt. Well, too, and I think that was kind of my attitude this time around with, like, the election and Trump getting reelected. Like, well, we survived the first 4. We're still here.
And you're going to survive the next 4, given that it's not a world-ending event or, some dickhead politician or a dictator who feels like they were disrespected in the last UN meeting.
Right.
Like, all y'all, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, can we just stop being bitches? Like, if y'all got problems, fight it out.
Hey,
fight it out.
Rule.
Fight it out. No, not us. Leave us out of it. You two bitches, fight it out. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
That's why I'm saying we're getting bent over, and these niggas aren't even Spartans. These are fucking Chihuahuas over here making rules to bend us over.
Death.
And you're not even a Spartan.
All right, what do you got?
I would say a little bit. I'm kind of the opposite of you, I think. I used to be very much like, it really doesn't matter who is in charge. They're all a bunch of goofs.
Oh, no, did we switch places?
Slimy. And I used to be like a little to the right of Attila the Hun. I think I've come around a little bit to be like, you know what? Makes me more nervous this time.
Okay.
I don't know why. Just maybe because of all the executive orders and all the bullshit and all the, stupidity. But
yeah, it's a lot of stupidity.
I mean, 4 years ago, it was like, who the hell cares? So Obama did it. He did it. Biden did it. It's all bullshit. None of it's really affected me.
I feel like what people got to understand with Trump is at the end of the day, he's an entertainer. We're talking about Mr. Apprentice himself.
Well, he's an entertainer and he's in it for himself. Like, he's a con man. So he's going to tell whoever is in front of him what they want to hear.
Exactly.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that one bit. I mean, how do you make that much money without?
Right.
You can't.
And have that many failed businesses and get another one. Right.
I mean, but as far as we know, Barron Trump had a time machine, so we don't know what the fuck.
Barron Trump's wild ride.
I still haven't started that yet.
Oh, that's one of the books over there on the desk?
Yeah, I got the complete collection. I still haven't started it yet, but I'm gonna get into it. And I'm gonna let you know when I figure out what the fuck's going on here too.
Please do.
Yeah. We know that your great grandfather was tasked with getting Nikolai Tesla's documents from Russia. We didn't forget. What he said, that was super bad. He said, yeah, you pissed your pants. He said that was like the 3rd grade. He said we didn't forget.
Well, Mom, it's funny, like going on that, or Cliff's tip right there about Barron Trump and that piece reminded me, your simulated multiverse book, I can't read at night.
Why not?
Because it keeps me up. Because I keep thinking, like, my mind starts spinning about it around, like, well, I mean, that's theoretically possible, and there are instances where that makes complete sense. And if all possible futures are, and if the ability to create a simulated universe artificially exists and it begets one, like, there is zero possibility, like near zero possibility that we are quote unquote the prime universe. And this has all been done before already. Somebody is watching us like they're playing The Sims right now.
I mean, I'm sure that's the case, though.
We're somebody's petri dish.
Right.
I thought it was a very good book, seriously.
I started it, and now it's been up here for a couple of weeks. I'll bring it back down.
If that's the case, then jump me to the parallel universe where Dana White saves the world, where the UFCs only consist of world leaders that have issues with themselves, and we get to bet on FanDuel if who's gonna whoop Trump's ass or vice versa. That's the world I want to. That's the world I one day want to live in.
Where everything from a geopolitical standpoint is trial by combat.
You hear me? Y'all have the issue. We didn't do shit.
And Biden.
We have an issue with our own leaders. Y'all fight. What the fuck are we coming for? We don't even like this nigga.
And then Putin rules the world.
Yeah, he beat everybody, right? We didn't say that, nigga. You still get a belt. You don't get your your claim. You don't get Ukraine, okay, sir? Win Ultimate Fighter.
They're all
World
really
Leader
just playing
edition.
Risk anyway.
Yeah, right? Of all the conspiracy theories that we've talked on the show, which one do you find the most interesting?
That's a good one.
The most interesting?
Yeah. Or which one do you subscribe to the most, or... Because we've talked a lot of like supernatural, conspiracy, that kind of stuff over the last couple of years. And it feels like it's in your wheelhouse.
Well, I mean, I definitely subscribe to the whole, there's a lot more out there than what we can see, or, so, other dimensions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely think so, that's true. There's a lot more, to quote Bill, there's a lot more in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. I really think there's a lot of things out there that we don't perceive, and maybe we can't, or maybe we just don't.
Okay.
Right.
If you don't look, you don't see.
Right.
Like you said about your dog, it's a
Plus,
reason why dogs can see on a different electromagnetic field than we can. So your nigga barking at the wall may not have been barking at the wall.
Right. No, I completely
Exactly.
believe that.
And Bigfoot is real.
I believe that too.
Blurry, but real.
He's just actually blurry.
Right. That's how he is in real life. People gonna see him and be like, what the hell?
So
He vibrates at a different frequency.
So
I need to change the resolution of my fucking retinas, because this is not 1080p.
I will offer it back out to the chat since we've got a couple of people listening. Anybody in the chat have any other questions?
What happened? What's been going on too? Like,
What do you mean what's been going on?
in the world?
I don't know. I kind of shut it off this week because I was way too engaged in it the previous week. Like, even at the beginning of this week, I had actually two different people kind of reach out to me with telling me like they had this, I don't know, it was almost like existential dread over everything that's going on in the world right now, whether it's Trump or I don't know. But
this is
There's
baseball
a lot of bad
season.
vibrations
oh, this
right
is
now.
baseball season.
No, for real, this is baseball season. This is like
There's
when,
3,200 games going on, but no one actually pays attention to any
right,
of them.
there's so much news, and it's about politics, and nobody gives who cares? That's not what I turned on to see Trump golfing. Wow, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's
This
interesting.
is
that you
MLB.
feel, a lot of people feel the dread right now. There's something out there because there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
People on the island were just like, ugh.
Yeah. And maybe it's just the time of year and the weather, like, I don't know, seasonal affective disorder or what. But
And how sad that certain people won elections and all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's interesting. They say it's America's game, but everybody watches football. It's baseball season. This is politics.
Not baseball yet.
No, his point is like that's what it feels like is baseball season when there's nothing else on, even though
always
there's
golf.
that's true. Yeah.
Oh, and guess what's coming? Puppy Bowl 21.
Oh, the Puppy Bowl.
Puppy Bowl.
I mean, I said it on Hit the Showers. I am boycotting the Super Bowl. So
Well,
This nigga's rocking with Dave Portnoy. He was so upset after that Bills game.
Oh, those refs
Mike is
were
standing
so
with
much
Dave
in the
this
Chiefs'
year.
pockets. It was ridiculous.
see, and I didn't even say that. I didn't
was
even talk about
ridiculous.
them being in
I
the
mean,
Chiefs' pockets.
They were.
But
I mean,
at the
they
end of the
couldn't
day,
spot
you're
the
a
ball
Bills
to
fan,
save
so
their life.
your season only lasts up until the conference championship. After that, there's no point in watching.
Which, you know, for like the majority of my lifetime is more than we got. Like what the
fuck you whining about? I'm a Raiders fan. I ain't seen shit my
Guess
whole
who your
lifetime.
coach is?
They got one 2 years before I was born and said, "Forget it. We're done." With
You
the
got a
Super
new
Bowl. We
coach,
don't care.
Raiders fan.
The Reed's saying you got a new coach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They got Biden back in office. Oh, that's Pete Carroll. I'm not
right.
upset about it, but I'm not thrilled either. We'll see how it works out.
There you go. We did get another one from the chat. If you had to choose to live in
any
space, if you had to choose, would you
Uh-huh.
live in space or at the bottom of the ocean?
Both extremely big fears of mine.
Right, I know. I knew this one was not going to sit well.
Like,
with you.
okay, like extremely big fears of mine. And I'm not a big scary kind of guy. Like, I don't get anxiety. I don't get scared in situations where regular people get scared. But when I tell you, like, playing the VR with you, the Star Trek and shit, I cannot sit at the top of the ship. You know how you have the top of the ship view?
Yeah.
I can't do that. Like, I get like anxiety, like, oh my gosh, something is wrong. Same with in the ocean. I can be in my bed. I can be bundled up, fetal,
Right.
tight, comfortable, and have the VR headset on and will still feel so uncomfortable watching something underwater. Can't do it. So to answer your question,
Neither.
Right. But I feel like I would die faster in space than I would in the ocean.
I don't know. Explosive decompression.
Well, that's how deep we going.
Right.
How
That's what I'm
deep we
saying.
talking?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I need more
It
information.
says bottom of the ocean.
Well, the bottom of the ocean could be 15 feet.
All right. Assume it's like Mariana Trench depth.
How which one do you die faster?
Well, I think if you're at that depth, you probably die faster in the ocean than you do in space. Space you would take a couple of seconds. If you experienced explosive decompression like that submarine did, you're dead.
Oh yeah, you're
instantly.
just crunched.
I think
You're not even feeling nothing.
I mean, theoretically, the pressure inside your body is greater than the vacuum. You expand and explode. I don't know how instantaneous that is.
I think it's pretty instantaneous.
Oh, I'm blowing up down here.
In the ocean, you're getting crushed. In space, you're expanding and blowing out.
Oh, okay. But you're not alive when that's happening.
I mean, you're alive for the 3.1 seconds that it takes.
I don't even think that's the case because it's so cold up there
Cold
that
down
as
about
soon
the
as
ocean,
you
too.
was out there, you would damn near be like, it's over. You know, it's
I
like
like
how
how
they say
you
jumping
guys
off a building, the shock of kills you before you hit.
I like how the two of you are focusing on the death part of it. Like,
I need to know
you're
where
living.
you guys
You're
are.
living.
That's
You're living
where
in
I
it.
want to be. I didn't say I was gonna live there long. All right. Whichever one takes you out immediate, put me there.
What's your answer?
My gut feeling is the ocean, but logically I think space.
Okay. Any additional context?
Well, just because space, I think there's more possibilities.
Yeah.
You can go to other places. You can, go to other stars.
Space is the final frontier.
You can do stuff. But
Somebody
in the
might
ocean,
pick you
I
up
have
for
an
you
affinity
explode.
for the salt water.
Yeah. I don't know. See, I was a big fan. I'm obviously a big Star Trek fan and a big Sequest DSV fan, so that's a hard question.
And then what are the terms? Like, are we in a scuba gear in a spacesuit, or are we just naked and afraid?
I feel like this is there's a settlement or a colony.
Okay.
There's like bubble protected.
So either I'm Aquaman or I'm Matt Damon on Mars.
Right.
There you
right.
go.
The Martian.
I mean, I would probably, assuming what you mean by that, space meaning I could be on another planet.
Well, planet
I would
without
say
an
space.
atmosphere.
See, when I interpreted the question, I thought they meant like in the vacuum of space or underwater, like, because you're in complete darkness underwater.
Yeah. You're in
The
complete
vacuum of
darkness in
space
space
would be
too.
the closest similarity, not like on a planet like Mars. So whichever one kills me quicker, I don't want to be at either long. That's my answer.
No, I think that was a good question. All right, we did get one more.
That was a great question.
If you could take a class on anything for free, what would you take?
That's a great question too. Look, now my brain is going in so many different directions that it's like, okay.
How to survive in space.
Nah, fuck that. Nah, we didn't say that they on the same production team. Those two questions.
I think my answer is like survival skills 101. Teach me how to hunt, teach me how to farm.
That's the smartest. That's I feel like that's the smartest answer.
Which I've started kind of like, I mean, the farm aspect, just learning my basics myself, but like that, I think that's kind of where I go. Is like some sort of survival 101, like here's how you build shelter, here's how you hunt, here's how you farm, hunter-gatherer type shit.
With that, like, okay, so like Nikola Tesla, is that like extreme engineering? Like how, like what is that?
So if you look at like even some of the quote unquote like survival guide books that you can get on, TikTok or wherever, like a lot of them have like how to build your own
the Tesla
little like
towers and all that.
Well, not
see,
even
I'm
Tesla's
not even
towers, but
this.
like but even just hydropower.
Right. Yeah, I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at it more so from a standpoint of it seems like it would be like engineering, but of ancient technologies to a point that I don't really care about. Like, I'm trying to get a laser. You hear me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to like let AI take over like Terminator. I want to have a weapon that's on their capabilities. I'm not trying to shoot these bullets that ain't gonna do shit to them. I'm trying to figure out what Nikola figured out and set up a whole laser compound that just fires in all directions whenever they smell alloy. I don't know.
See, all I know is that after watching the latest Planet of the Apes movie, even the apes figured out how to use a shock prod. So I feel like that's doable. I feel like your best bet there is to take one of them out and steal it.
They're not using that technology. See, that's where your mind is thinking. I'm saying they took away all of his technology for a reason. They don't want it around.
Yeah.
So if I was able to study that same engineering
technology.
standpoint.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I appreciate that one. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I want a class that they're not offering.
Right.
After your prerequisites. That I need a real class. My class is in the basement, and you got to put your phones in the bag in the refrigerator before you step into the classroom.
I feel it. All right. What you got?
Well, my gut feeling was, first of all, it was interesting because the first thing I thought of was survival skills. And then I thought, I've already had several survival skills classes over the years, online and in person. So maybe that wouldn't take another one. Then I thought, what would be something that I've never, ever really delved into that would be interesting? And I think it would be art appreciation.
Okay.
Because I can't draw.
That.
I have no perception in terms of how to do perspectives and stuff.
I thought you used to draw.
Not me, man. I could never draw anything.
Oh.
Really?
Nope. I mean, I can't. I couldn't draw this room. It's all angles.
So Maddie got all that shit from Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Maddie the truth with that.
Yeah. No, I mean, because I never could do any of that. Never.
Oh, so I'm you. That's the problem.
I could pick.
You're the reason why I can't do anything like that. Zero creativity in my blood.
Could picture things.
And you turn so red. Don't
paper.
forget that. You're the reason. She's the reason
and
you turn red, too.
And I didn't understand how to do that. And I didn't understand how to appreciate people who did do it.
Yeah. I think that may be the difference is that I think I've always surrounded myself with big creative people, including the one on this podcast. And I mean, Maddie, but even at work, like I worked in advertising, but like I was project management.
I was always math science.
Yeah. Same.
I never really did any of the art stuff. I mean, I did music for a while and it was okay, but I never really got into any of the visual arts.
I get that.
And it becomes
I like shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
It becomes very apparent when I watch a movie with certain people who have to analyze all the scenes, and I don't get it. And I'm like, they just did it. And oh no, the lighting is terrible, and this is wrong, and that's wrong. And I'm like, just watch the monster eat them.
That's the fantastic Mr. Fox, I'm sure.
He analyzes it, and I'm like, just let the monster eat them.
For those that are unaware, friend of the show, Maximus Foximus
My guy.
is
Maximus
the son
Foximus.
is the son of the Ritz's partner.
And talk about opposite.
Right. Y'all are impromptu brothers.
Oh goodness. All right. Well,
that's why when y'all both tag team on me, no Diddy, and y'all do that fucking politics shit, I'll be double time going to sleep. Like,
see, I feel like Matt and I should do our own show.
I do.
If I'm not coaching, since I'm not coaching football this year, or coaching less football,
and I'll
this
be
year.
your first guest, and I'll be on there.
Wake up, Cliff! Wake up!
I can contribute every now and again. It had to be a topic I'd be interested.
We'll do counter programming to hit the showers. Oh man! All right. Well, it's been a good show. Good impromptu.
Yeah, I think so.
Mom, thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
My
it.
rates.
Woohoo!
You got anything before we sign off? Anything you want to say to the people?
Same thing I always
Do
say.
your own
Love
thing.
everybody. At least till they give you a reason not to. And fuck the directions, man. Up and down.
Let's
Start that. Let's go
up
up
and
and down instead of left and right. Because you can still have up people on both sides and down people on both sides. And I don't want them downs. We only ups around here. I don't care which side you're on, as long as you're up.
Thanks. All right. Well, do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell an enemy. Tell them
to troll in this bitch.
And do us a favor. Check us out on all of our socials at FoolproofNet on IG, TikTok, maybe X. I don't remember. But IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Check out the shorts and the clips and let us know what you think.
We might have to do we probably can't do it per episode, But we need to do a Cash App competition where there's one movie reference per episode, and whoever responds in the chat with the movie reference gets the Cash App prize.
Gets a reward. We can do that. We figure that out. I like it. All right. Well, peace out, fools.